book babes, welcome back to Two Girls, One TBR, your chaotic book besties here to wreck your reading list. One morally gray man at a time. I'm Rebecca, and you can find me over on Instagram and TikTok at Azrella Reads. And here I am with my lovely new co-host.
Hi, my name's Kirsty, and you can find me over on Instagram as well at bk.reads_.
So how are you doing today, my lovely sweet friend?
I'm doing pretty well, can't complain. The time difference is a big, but that's okay. We're killing it. We're killing it.
Well, right now it is 11:22 for me. What time is it for you right now?
Also 11:22, but PM.
You're getting
Not
ready
AM.
to go into tomorrow for me.
I am, yes. It's nice though, we're on the same day.
Yeah.
Quite often we're not. Yeah.
Well, soon you'll be in the same. You'll be closer to me, but behind me.
I will.
But
yes, I'm right. I'm going to be behind you instead of in front of
this is so crazy, though. That's so neat. I find it. I'm excited for you to get over here and start your adventure that you're going to be doing.
Yes, I'm so excited to be in the same country as everyone else. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, I'm excited for. And when do you think? When do you think you'll be actually here? How long do you think it'll be now?
Hopefully in the next week or two.
Well, that's exciting.
So by the time this comes out, I should be there.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Again, I told you, like we said earlier, I am going to live vicariously through you, through your adventures. So, are you going to, on your Bookstagram, are you going to post a little bit about your adventures on there as well? Or are you going to, or is your Bookstagram just going to stay your Bookstagram?
I think I'm going to post aesthetically pleasing things that you may find on my trip and where I might be reading from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be neat.
I think, yeah, picturesque wise, it will be lovely. But yeah, we have another account where we have all of our travels and whatnot's going on there. So.
Do you have a link tree on your Bookstagram so that you can link
Not
your other one?
Not currently, but maybe I should. Maybe I'll get onto that.
Yeah, because if you do that, then people could, if they wanted to, they could follow your adventure as well. I know I'm excited to follow your adventure.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
So now, what are you currently reading, ma'am?
I just started. Everyone's going to have to forgive me. I am a Kindle reader because I can't carry all my books with me. I am reading The Light is Terrible, Fear of Forever by Kennedy Bryant. It is currently an arc, but by the time this comes out, it will be out.
Oh, okay.
Not in Rebecca's genre. This is a contemporary romance. This one is it's hockey, ice hockey.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but it's good fun. Kennedy writes, this is the 4th book in the series, so it's the last one. And she writes, I really like the way she writes in terms of like mental health rap and stuff like that. So
now, yeah, you said it's the 4th book. Now, is it, are you following the same person all the way through, or is it like interconnected standalone kind of vibe?
Interconnected standalone. So the male main characters, they all play on the same hockey team.
Oh, okay.
So it's got that sense of found family in it, which is really nice. But it's also very much, you could just read the one by itself. You don't need to read it.
Okay. Now, are they spicy?
Yes. Of course they are. Of course they are. Yeah.
But I always have to ask those questions, you know.
Yeah. I will be very upfront with you if they are not.
Now myself, now
please tell me.
Again, you know I'm in my villain era. But I am reading Kingdom of Silent Sorrows. That's what I'm reading right now. By A.G. Harris. She was on the podcast a couple weeks ago, but this is her book. Mm-hmm. I know my light it reflects, but she did all the artwork. Let me see. I mean, she does. Oh, her stuff is just so beautiful. Like, let's see here. Like, you can see. I know she has one that's a girl that's in here, and it's so beautiful. But look at that. See how she does?
Wow. Yeah, that's insane. In the best way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, if you go over and you follow her on Instagram, AG Harris, you can actually see her actually creating her art and stuff
Yeah,
for
wow.
her all of her characters and stuff. And I love it because
Yeah.
you're seeing what she sees, what the
Yeah.
characters that she created in her mind, and then you're actually seeing the actual visual, and I love that aspect of that.
Yeah.
But it is good. And when you see her
Yeah.
and she's like so soft spoken and she's like the sweetest lady, and I'm like, where did this spiciness that you were writing, where did it come from? Because you see her, you don't expect it, because she
No,
looks very,
never.
but her spicy, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, good for her. And I really appreciate that she can write and draw.
Oh yeah.
Like, so much talent.
That
So
amazes
much
me. Another author that was on the podcast this past year, Ravenna Bell, she does the same thing. She writes and does her art. And Parker A. Garner, she also does art, writes and does art as well too. And I'm
Yeah.
like, where do you all come from? I can't do
Yeah.
either of those things.
Yeah. Please stop taking all of the talent. Share the love.
But now the other thing that you are amazing, I have to tell you, because today our guest is Carissa Broadbent, and
Yes.
you power read
I
several
did.
the beginning of her books, and I have to tell you, I am impressed with you. How
Thank
you
you.
got through book 1 and 2 in how many hours? 'Cause it was not very long.
No, it wasn't. I did listen I had it on high audio.
Yeah.
I think it would have been like 1.75. So I powered through them. But we only landed, so I'm in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia at the moment, and we only landed here today. So we had an overnight flight, and I was awake for a lot of that. So
Yeah.
we haven't really been doing a lot of sleeping. So I've just been reading, which has been fantastic. And also that first duology especially was so captivating. I didn't want to stop listening anyway. It was fantastic.
So what is your thoughts on Mr. Vincent? Mind you, he isn't the main, he's not the main male character of the book. But I do find Vincent quite alluring, I have to tell you.
Yes, I can certainly understand why you did. When we were speaking about it before I'd read it, and I was like, what is she talking about? Like, what do you mean? This guy's barely here. Like, what is going on? But the more I got into it, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it. And then you see more of him in the
Yeah.
second part that I was expecting. And it was great. Like, seeing his point of view was very cool. And it brought a lot of Vincent or Victor to light for me.
Oh, I know. I mean, Heather and I mean, we have called him Victor so many times, even though he is Vincent. But
It's fine.
it's hilarious but the thing is, her and I will have a full-on conversation, and neither of us will pick up on it that we're calling him the wrong name. I think we're more aware of it now because we've picked up on it so much that we do this. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, we both like Vincent. And if I
Yeah.
remember correctly, he has long white hair, doesn't he? Or silver
Yes.
hair. White?
I
Is it white
see
or silver?
I think it's white.
White. It's just,
Let's go with that.
normally I'm like the dark-haired MMC is the
Yes.
one that gets me.
100%.
But there's something about him. I don't know if it's just the power that he demands, or just
Yeah.
his regalness about him.
Mm,
Maybe it's because he's a vampire. I don't know what it is, but there's something
yeah.
about I love him more, even though I love Rain. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love him, but there's something about Vincent. But I'm deep in my villain era, so maybe that's why.
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely think I'm more of a Rain girly. But I also think when you eventually start your Throne of Glass journey, there may be someone that you find alluring in the same aspect that you find
Oh, that's interesting.
with Vincent.
Mm.
I wonder if anyone else will understand what I'm talking about. Maybe they will, but I
Now-
don't want to spoil anything for you.
Now, You do have to get to this, though, at some point. You
I
have
do.
to read the novella. Now, Six
I have
Scorched
it on here.
Roses. Now, everybody, look, if you're watching us on YouTube or on Spotify or whatnot, it's not very big. It's probably, what is it? Let me see. It's not that long of a little novella. It is 164 pages. But
Beautiful.
I think you can only get it in hardback. And I love it because it has the
Mm.
little, has the little
Oh,
ribbon. I don't remember if
yeah,
it
I love
has.
that.
And look at the cover in the inside. Look how
Wow,
beautiful it
that is
is.
stunning.
And it's
All of
just
her
so
books are
cute.
stunning.
Oh, absolutely. Um, just the artwork on them, everything. It's beautiful. But when you
Yeah.
get to this, now you got to meet the couple that is in here in
Yes,
book
in the
2.
first one. Oh,
Yes,
sorry, book 2. Yeah, first
yes.
duology, book 2.
In Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, you'll meet, it's Vale and Lilith, but this is
Mhm.
their love story, and you get to see how that happened and who Lilith was and who Vale is, whatnot. And it's so, I just love it. It is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So please don't ever skip it. Anybody that's reading the Crowns of Nyaxia series, do not miss this one because it is so good. It is, I don't know. I love that. That is probably my favorite little novella I've ever read out of all the books I've ever done. And when we talked to her, because everyone, just a little tidbit, we're filming this part after we've already talked to Carissa.
We have.
We have
Cheeky.
already. So, but I was telling her how much I loved this one, and she said she wrote that in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah,
That's wild to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it's short, but like they pack a punch.
Oh, yeah. And then when you read it, and it's just, again, like I said, it's a beautiful love story. That's the other thing about how she writes. That's why I told her she's one of my auto-buy authors. I love how
Yeah.
she writes, and the scenes that she writes with them, with her characters, the love stories that she's she's creating, and they're beautiful. And it's
Yeah.
not, you'll have that enemies to lovers thing, and she writes it perfectly to it. It's not like you'll see it and then they're immediately, together. Some books you'll read
Yeah.
that. This, she does the slow burn. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does it very well.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. And I often struggle with Romantasy, especially with the first book and the
Mm-hmm.
world building. And
Yeah.
it's just so much information all at once, and it's just kind of info dumped on you, right? But
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know how she does it, but she just writes it so flawlessly, and it just kind of, all the information that you need just slots in when you need it. And you kind of just learn about the world as you go along,
Yeah.
which I love because I can actually take the information in and remember it, right? But if you're telling me 27 different names of things in the first 10 pages,
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember them by the end of the book. Do you know what I mean?
Well, see, like a lot of people have issue with the Plated Prisoner series,
Mhm.
with the first book, Guild.
Yeah.
That, and because like a lot of people get it and they'll start reading it, and then they might quit after book 1 or not even make it through book 1 because they're like, I don't get it. I don't understand where this is going, that kind of thing. But you have for that particular book on book 1, you have to read that. It is a tremendous amount of world building. But
Yeah.
and you don't meet my book husband until book 2. But it's one of those ones you have to have that world building in that particular series. You have to have that to get to where the journey goes.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that also about Akatar with the, A Court of Thorns and Roses with the first book. Like some people, they had a hard time reading that first book.
Yeah.
Or I've heard some people even had quit halfway through it and didn't,
Yeah. Wow.
didn't finish. And I'm like, it's so beautiful once you get, I mean, I
Yeah.
loved it though, myself personally, but but that's just me though. I don't know. Did
Yeah.
you have,
Yeah,
now, did you
everyone's different.
struggle with Akatar?
No, But I think I didn't struggle with Akatar because I read Throne of Glass first.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you were
So
already used to her writing and style.
Yes. And I wouldn't say she info dumps, but the first Throne of Glass is very different in the sense that you do learn so much and you have to really be in that world straight away. Where I didn't find that as much with Akatar because it was kind of like you were between two worlds, right? The
Okay.
humans and the non-humans. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I did
Um,
struggle with Crescent City though. Just to throw that one in there as well.
what for you? What was it because with Crescent City? Is it because it was more like urban type setting, since it was so very different than the other two series, or was it the story itself that was difficult?
Yeah.
What was it with Crescent City that did that for you?
I don't know if I was just overwhelmed in general. Do you know what I mean? Like, I found quite quickly I got quite attached, and then obviously, you know, things change, and
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and then you learn and you meet so many people really quickly, and then I think, yeah, to be honest, maybe my brain did struggle a little bit with you've got all of these romantasy elements being this urban world. It took my brain a little while to get around that, maybe. I'm not sure. But
Well, I mean,
once I
it
was
was.
in it, I was in it.
Oh, I mean, it is a lot of characters, and when you read Crescent City, yeah, because it is very different than Sarah's, other two series. Now, mind you, I haven't read Throne of Glass,
Yes.
but I do know from other people saying that it is different. It's very different than Akatar, um, because it is like more modern, like our more modern world. It's
Yeah.
but there's a lot of different types of characters. You have more shifters. You have fae. You have vampire. You have mermaid. I mean, there's human. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces, and then you have the Asteri people, which is something altogether different. And then you're reading the beginning of the book, and you're like, oh, you're just happy and you're
Yeah.
going along, and then you get, I think it's like maybe
Yep.
5 chapters and something like that, and then there's
Chapter 5. Yeah.
something catastrophic event happens, and it alters the timeline. It alters the rest of the books.
Everything.
And
Yeah.
And the female main character is Bryce, and this event that happens, it rocks her entire foundation of what she thought she knew. And the
Yeah.
entire rest of the series, she's trying to figure out how did this happen? Why did this happen? And she thought she knew, but she didn't know,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. And but I really like in Crescent City that you learn everything with her, right? Like,
Yes.
the narrator isn't keeping anything from you.
Yeah.
You're learning it with them, and then you kind of feel how she would feel, which I really like. And you go through those emotions, which I think for me, when I got to the third book, it made me so much more emotional because you're still so invested in what happened in chapter 5 of the first book.
Yeah.
But these books are 800 pages each, and you're nearly at the end of the third book and you're still thinking about chapter 5. Like, it's crazy.
And it's so interesting. And then, of course, the thing that I didn't realize, I mean, I had heard people say this, but I didn't realize, if you have read Akatar, it is very important for you to read Crescent City, because when you get to book 3, there's questions you have from Akatar. They answer things in book 3 from there, and there's crossover kind of thing. So before Akatar 6 comes out, everybody, please read Crescent City. It's very important, because I do feel that will play a role in whatever's upcoming.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was so good. I loved it. I absolutely love Crescent City. I didn't have any expectations 100%, going into it as much. I just was like, oh, because it sat on my shelf for probably 6 months, something like that. Because I think I got them for my birthday last year. So, and then I didn't start reading it until like around Christmas time, I think, is when I started Crescent City. And then I finished it in like the beginning of February, something like that, the trilogy. But it is so good. It is so good. I'm so excited for book 6 to come out in October.
Yes, me too.
I just wonder in my mind, one, who's going to be the point of view? Is this going to be a continuation of Nesta? Or do we think her storytelling is done? Because she was a prominent, she was that very prominent person at the end. I mean, is it going to be Elaine? Is it going to be more? Could it be Amren? I don't know. Do you think it would be one of the guys' point of view?
I mean, surely we have to get Asriel's point of view at some stage, right?
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
He has the largest wingspan.
He does. And he's definitely he gives the biggest shadow daddy energy out of the three of them. For sure.
Well, I have so many questions in regards to him. Who is his father? Where does his shadows come from? Because now this is, again, I do not feel he will end up with Elaine.
No, neither do I.
Because when his shadow sees her, they want to hide away. But when he's with Gwen, they sing. So that tells me, I think she is his mate. I think Gwen, we're going to find out that she is his one. But I think something with Elaine, there's something about Elaine that doesn't ever sit right with me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we know she's a seer. We know that. But where will that come into play in book 6? So, I mean, do we think it's going to be her point of view?
Don't know. I mean, it could go either way, right? Like, I don't want it to be her POV if it's going to be boring, but I mean, it never would be because it's Sarah J. Maas, obviously. But like, if it's Elaine's POV and then we find out that actually, she's a bit evil, and then maybe her and Tamlin team up or something, like, I could get around that. I could get around Tamlin and Elaine. I really could.
Now, this is my thought. Now, I have a lot of Tamlin theories because the internet has done this to me. Because I have my Akatar series, our little mini series that we do, and I look up theories that people say. People's theories have me thinking. Now, one, would it be weird, though, if Tamlin would be with Elaine after he's been with her sister Feyre? Would that be weird?
I don't think so, not necessarily, because if we were looking at Elaine getting with Asriel and Sarah J. Maas wrote that scene of Nesta, Cassian, and Asriel, then surely that would have been fine.
Yeah.
I'm still very bummed that we never got that. One can hold out hope, right?
You never know what might happen.
You never know.
But see, now this is the other weird theory. Because now when Tamlin and Feyre, when she was first at his place, because remember he mentions to her, why didn't your mother tell you about us? He was very specific about her mother, not her father, not other people, her mother.
Yeah.
So I wonder, is it possible? Because again, I do not think Mama Archeron was all human. I do not think so.
That makes sense.
And there's a reason why they lived that close to the wall. They could have lived anywhere. Why did they live there? So I wonder sometimes, like, if she was from their world, from the Fae world, was she possibly, again, a witch? Wink, wink. Or witch, even though I haven't read that, I haven't read Throne of Glass, but I think there's something to do with that. And
no comment.
What if it's a possibility that Tamlin and Feyre's mother had once had a relationship? And what if, no, wait, get ready for this. What if Nesta is Tamlin's daughter? Because her and Papa Archeron never got along. Think about it.
It's true.
They didn't get along. She had her mother's eyes. We know that. Elaine has Papa Archeron's eyes because because Sarah makes this very specific. And then we know
Yes.
Feyre has her mother's eyes. So what if, this is the theory that's out there, what if Nesta, she had Nesta with Tamlin, we're going to just put it, or we'll just put Tamlin, and then Papa Archeron married her, and then they just never said anything, and just he raised her as his own, and then they went on to have their own 2 children.
I don't know how I feel about that. Could you imagine?
I know. But yet there's a lot of stuff we just don't know. Mama Archeron's her name's never said, but we know that she was raising Nesta to marry a prince or nobility or whatever. And then in Silver Flames, she makes mention of her grandmother, and she was very stern and all this. And remember, she would make her take dance lessons and all these kind of things. I'm like, what happened to that lady? Where did she go? Again, we haven't seen where any of these people, they never mention that they go see their graves or anything. So I'm still not sold that Mama Archeron is dead. So again, if they don't die on page,
Yeah, you're
are they
very
really
true.
dead?
Are they somewhere else?
I'm telling you, I have so many theories.
We could be here all day.
Oh my God. So, I mean, again, that's coming out, in October. So,
Yes.
I'm excited about it. So I have a lot more theories out there because people have
I'm
been,
excited about it too.
people have even more crazy theories. I thought I had
I'm sure
tapped
they
into,
do.
well, I thought I had tapped into the most crazy, but now it seems there's even more. So hopefully over between now and, when the book comes out, was it the 27th? Is that right? Of October, I think, is when Akatar 6.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
It's something like that in October.
End of October.
Yeah. I hope to be able to do some Akatar miniseries.
Yeah, definitely.
So we all can discuss these theories and see if Tamlin.
Yeah, most definitely.
Now, I mean, she said she doesn't know if Tamlin will have a redemption arc. But would I think that Sarah would tell us that and then give him some form of redemption? I think absolutely. I think she could do it. I mean, I understand what she was saying when she was talking on the podcast this March, saying that, she has to be very careful of what she does with Tamlin because she has had friends that have been in those kind of situations and relationships.
Yeah.
But I have to credit Chelsea to this because she would always say that she could redeem him. I mean, he has been through it himself. He's had a tremendous amount of trauma. So, I mean, is he redeemable? Do you think he is? Do you think he could be brought back from where he's at? Remember, he's mostly in beast form right now and kind of living like a crazy person now. And
yeah.
Maybe
if he did some soul searching, maybe if they had like Fae therapy that he could go to.
He needs it for sure.
He really does. Maybe he just needs to find, I know we love Lucian, but maybe he just needs to find a new friend that can help him on the right path.
Yeah.
And maybe he will on his adventures. Maybe then he finds someone who helps him on his path. And then that's who he falls in love with.
It could be. He needs a strong woman is who he needs to tell him to knock it off.
We have seen it from Sarah J. Maas before, where we've seen people that we don't like, who we've liked, and then we don't like, and then they get their redemption arc. We have seen it before.
Well, yeah, I mean,
will we see it again?
Well, you take Nesta, for example, people either love her or they hate her. A lot of people did not like her, but I mean, I understand why people don't like her. They're struggling and all that, but you have to always remember everything that we have learned and everything we knew from the first 3 books, that is all Feyre's perspective.
Yeah, point of view. Yeah, 100%.
So of course she's going to see Nesta in that light because in her mind, Nesta wasn't helping. But then we found out, like in Silver Flames, that she was doing things to try to help the family that Feyre didn't know.
Yeah.
She didn't know was happening.
I think a lot of people would be in the same boat as me. The first 3 books, I was like, I don't really like Nesta.
Mhm.
But then in Silver Flames, she was so relatable to me, like with her struggles and stuff like that. Obviously, probably not to the same extent,
Yeah.
but like I think a lot of people can relate to her. And I think you see a big divide now where people have changed their point of view because they go, oh, well, actually, you shouldn't judge someone based on what someone else has told you, right?
Do I think that Nesta is the most pleasant person? Absolutely
No.
not. She's very bristly, but that's who she is. And that's how she
Yeah.
was raised. She was raised by
Yeah.
Mama Archeron and Grandma
Mm-hmm.
whatever, because we don't have a name. We
Whatever.
just have Grandma.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, she was raised in that particular way. But I mean, she had a lot of bad shit happen to her. I mean, the family fell to the hard times and what she was doing to try to help the family. And then, Feyre, leaves. Elaine didn't try to go and find her. Nesta
No.
went to find her and she was going to go over the wall to find her. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, she loves Feyre. I mean, I don't think if she wouldn't have cared about her, she would have never got that mercenary to help her and try to save Feyre.
Yeah.
So, but people forget that. And then she got stolen out of her bed in the middle of the night, her and her sister, and then they got thrown in the cauldron. She didn't
Yeah.
know what was going to happen to her when that happened. But I do like one of my favorite things though is when she went in and she pointed at him.
Yeah.
I was like, haha.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And then you get into Silver Flames and you see a lot more. I understand why she's like losing her mind and why she's drinking and
Mm-hmm.
why she's sleeping with every guy she can. She had a lot of trauma to deal with, I
Yeah.
mean, and
Yeah.
I guess like you're looking at, like how Rhysand and Feyre were like, well, this is it. You're going to live at the House of Wind and you're going to have to do whatever. I don't think they understood her trauma very well.
No. No, not at all. And they were so wrapped up in themselves. Don't get
Hmm.
me wrong, I love Rhys and Feyre, but they were
Yeah.
so, and it's understandable. Like they were wrapped up in who they were and what was happening in their lives. That obviously it would have been even harder to see her perspective.
Well, and then they were dealing with their own traumas itself, I mean, Feyre went through a lot under the mountain. I mean, that was a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah,
and all those things. And then, we always say like, well, Rhys, he did. I mean, he had a rough 50 years under the mountain with Amarantha. He was
yeah.
doing what he had to do to survive because she
To
did kill
survive.
off multiple High Lords because
Yeah.
um what is it? What's the one? Tarquin? Uh
Hmm.
the one that begins with a K, the one that's up in the Winter Court. Callias? Is that his name? That could be wrong. I don't know. It begins with a K. And
Got no
then
idea.
Thesan. Those one they became High Lords under the mountain because their
Yeah,
fathers were killed.
because they got yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Mm, yeah,
So he did what he had to do to survive, and also, of course, he was protecting his city that was hidden that
yeah,
nobody knew existed, and they were all having the best time up there. Well, a lot of
yeah.
other people were under the mountain. So I don't know. I'm excited. I want to know, when do you think she's going to release the title? We're not that many months out.
No, we're not really, are we?
Mm-mm.
Surely soon. I wonder how long you leave it. But even before then, we've got the novella, the Fourth Wing novella coming out, and that doesn't have a title either.
That comes out in September. Is
Mhm.
that right?
Yeah.
See, I haven't
Yeah, the
read
middle
any
of
of Fourth
September.
Wing.
Yep.
You've read all. Yeah, I take it you've
I
read all
have,
Fourth Wing.
yeah. I
So
have.
well, I'm assuming this novella is going to, it's not a prequel or anything, novella. So I'm assuming it's
We
going to be
don't
a transition
know.
maybe
I
between
am
that
assuming it's a different POV
of the
that we're
same.
maybe getting the, because it's
Okay.
all, I don't know. It's so hard whether or not she's going to give us, because there's a section at the end of the third book that kind of goes missing, and whether or
Oh.
not she's going to give us that from someone else's POV, because Violet, the female main character, loses her memories. So whether or not we see that from someone else's point of view, and that's what the novella is, or
Interesting.
it could be anything.
Well, yeah, it could be anything. That's interesting. See, I haven't read it because everybody tells me all the books end in a cliffhanger, and then there's always big gaps and chunks between the books. So I'm waiting until they're all out, and then I'm going to read them. Well, like with Lost Memory kind of thing, if you if you read Bewitched by Laura Thalassa, it's a memory thing happening in that book because you follow. For some reason, I'm thinking her name's Celine. I could be wrong. The female main character. It's been a little bit since I've read it. But she's a witch, and she joins this academy. It's like a witches school kind of thing. That's just subplot in the thing. That's not the main thing. But every time she uses her magic or she does stuff, she loses more of her memories. And so she has notebooks and notebooks, and she writes everything down and all kinds of stuff. And that also plays a part in things. But there's a reason why she's losing her memories, and you will find out. You will find out. But it is so good. And then you will meet my second book husband if you have not read these. His name is Memnum, and he's 2,000 years old. And he's and the way he talks to her, and how he's so dirty. You know how Kingfisher and Quicksilver is just so dirty. He's very dirty like that. Also, my book husband in the Plated Prisoner, he's very dirty as well.
All narrated by the same person as well, if you were wondering. On audio.
Oh God. Oh, I love Kingfisher. Now I'm not an audiobook girl, but I have heard the clips and stuff, and when he talks about with Kingfisher with one person being on their knees, and that is one of the best clips.
The same narrator does in the graphic. You know how they're doing graphic audio now of some books? Yeah. So in Akatar, he does Rhysand in the graphic versions of those as well. So all of those main male, that vibe.
Does he does the Plated Prisoner too? Does he do the
He does, yeah. And he just did, have you read Metal Slinger?
I have it sitting on my shelf. I have not read it. Light Wielder comes out, or it just came out here like a week or so ago. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I just read it. Well, I listened to it on audiobook, and he did the guy in that too.
Oh. I have to
Good for you, though, to not have read Metal Slinger, because then you don't have to wait ages, because that's probably the worst cliffhanger I've ever read in my entire life.
Heather said the same thing. Heather read the whole thing, and she was like, "Oh, this is so good." And there's like in the back of it, there's like a couple extra chapters or something at the back. And she was like, "Oh, maybe it'll, give me an idea what's coming on the next one." And she's like, she was so bad. She was like, "It's 10 years or 5 years in the future," and didn't give me any answers to what was happening. And she was very upset about that.
Yeah.
But now, is that that was a duology? Or is this so Light Wielder? That was the end, right?
Yeah. Well,
okay. Maybe. Okay.
It's a duology. I think it's going to be kind of like Carissa, a duology, and then I would imagine maybe it would go again, like different people, but same.
Same world.
I reckon it would be quite similar, actually, to be honest.
Okay. Oh, interesting. But no, I do have it sitting on my shelf waiting for me. I think I have 100 books. I'm a collector. I am a curator of books. I just don't read as fast as some people do. But it's hard. Well, as I pay attention, I look at how people are reviewing things, and if people are saying it's a banger, and I know it's going to be 5 stars all day, kind of thing, I buy it. It goes on the shelf. Yeah, you should see what I have pre-ordered. You should see I have all kinds of things pre-ordered. I mean, I know everything that she has done, I know is amazing because I've read how she writes. I love it. I know her Daughter of No Worlds. What? I always call that, because that's the first book. I always forget what the actual series is called. It's the War of Lost Hearts. I never call it that. I always say Daughter
No,
of No
neither do
Worlds.
I. So do I.
I know. I mean, I've seen so many people. I mean, this is the third one, but I have so many people have said that this is an absolute amazing series. So I'm very thankful. My
Yeah.
husband got that for me for Christmas.
Hmm.
So I know she's an auto buy, but I have her. I have Laura Thalassis, because, like I said, Bewitches. It's the third book in the series, but there's 4 books because there's a prequel in there. Again, if you read that, read Bewitched, read Bespelled, then read The Curse That Binds, because if you read The Curse That Binds, then you know more. It takes the mystery out of the other 2 books, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, I've read it and I knew what was coming in The Curse That Binds, and I still cried.
Mm-hmm.
It got me.
Yeah.
When a book makes you cry, you know it's a good book. So I'm excited for Bedeviled. That comes out in August. I believe in quarter 3 I have 16. There's 16 books that are coming out that I'm super excited about. And
Wow.
I have a lot of different ones pre-ordered. Now, are you? Oh yeah, because you're going to be all over the place, so you won't be getting physical copy. You'll be getting
No, I won't.
Kindle though.
I will be, yes. My husband has limited me to 5 physical books in the car.
Oh.
So we'll see how that goes. It might not last very long, but yes, I have a lot on my Kindle.
How many? Do you do Kindle Unlimited, or do you just pick and choose as you go?
I do both. I also do a lot through my library.
Oh, okay.
Because my library has 3 different apps that I can use to do audio and ebooks, so they're really good. And they've got a decent range.
Now, does your library, do they do the graphic audios too, or do you have to do that separate? I don't know, because I don't know, does the library, do they do graphic audio?
Yeah, my library did graphic audio. That's how I did the third Crescent City. I did the third Crescent City on graphic audio.
Very
interesting
fancy.
Experience. Yeah,
very
bougie.
fancy. But now me, I love having a book in my hand. But I have to say, now I do mix though. Now this is paperback. I love a good paperback, and I love it because this has that flop to it. You know what I mean? Oh, I love a good flop.
I do.
But yet I have some of her books. This only comes in hardback. But I have Fallen and The Kiss of Dusk. I have that one. It's hardback. All the other ones are paperback. I mix and match. Does that bother you when you do that?
Look, a little bit, yeah. But in Australia, most of our books come out first in paperback and then come out in hardback, not the other way.
I wonder why it does that.
I don't know, because I remember they made a big deal about Akatar, and everyone was like, oh my God, it's going to come out in hardback, and it's going to be different from my paperbacks. And I was like, okay, so how many copies of Akatar 6 am I ordering and delivering to the US? Because they're in paperback and not in hardback.
Now, see, I have Akatar, but I have the paperback. So I have the colorful set.
Yes.
But I have book 6 pre-ordered, and it's going to be hardback. So it's not, and it's not going to match.
No.
So I am not a person. Now, some people they like to buy multiple copies of the same book. I don't do that, but I am contemplating possibly doing that with Akatar if I want my set to match.
Yes. Because otherwise you've got to wait. Like, how long have you got to wait for that paperback to come out? You just don't know, right?
Well, if it's October, I'm going to say at least 6 months. It could be before paperback. I'm not waiting that long to find out what happened.
You'll be lucky to last a week without spoilers on social media.
I know. And also, people, when you do get to that, hold off. Calm your tits. Don't post spoilers. People want to know things or market, like, do a carousel and do multiple slides and say, spoiler, don't go forward, spoiler. Because it's awful when you're reading a book, or you're going to read a book that's just come out. Maybe you didn't get to read it right at the exact moment everyone else did. And then you start seeing spoilers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's boo. Don't do that. That's not nice.
Not at all.
No. So now we will be right back, even though this is technically after the fact. But for you, we will be right back with Carissa Broadbent.
I hope you enjoy it. We had a fabulous time.
Oh, absolutely. And also, she is the sweetest lady in the entire world.
The nicest lady, honestly.
Absolutely. And hopefully she'll come back later on this year, or maybe the beginning of next year, and come visit us again.
Yes,
she was
lovely.
She was very enjoyable. So we'll see you in a few moments.
Yeah. Bye.
Hello and welcome, Carissa Broadbent, now a #1 New York Times and U.S. Today bestselling author, and also the vampire romantasy queen. Welcome. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
I am so happy. I have to tell you. Now, my friend Heather, she's another one of my co-hosts on the podcast. Her and I have, we always rave all the time about your books. And I have to tell you, Mr. Vincent, that is in the first duet, for some reason, her and I call him Victor all the time. We have done full episodes where we've been talking and have a full conversation and not realize it. And for some reason, Vincent is Victor to us.
You are not the only one. He gets called Victor a lot. So I'm not offended by that. Neither is he, I'm sure.
Well, I as you can tell, I loved The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I loved Six Scorched Roses. This is my absolute favorite novella I've ever read. I love it. And I love, well, as you can tell, I love it, and I annotate. I am so excited for your upcoming book that's coming out on, what is it, August 4th?
August 4th.
And that is book, and that's book 1 in the last duet of the series.
Yep. So it's the penultimate book of the whole series. We're getting towards the end. Very surreal.
I am so excited. I have read the first 3. I also have your Slaying the Vampire Conqueror. I have it. They're all staring at me from my bookcase. But I haven't had a chance to read them. And I also have, my husband bought me for Christmas, I have all of this series as well of yours.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to keep you so busy.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, question for you. So what are you currently reading, or what is keeping you up at night?
My 3-year-old, mostly. I am actually not reading anything right now because I don't have the time, that the brain space. I have like very bad pregnancy brain because, as I was telling you guys before we started rolling, I am at time of recording 8 months and change pregnant, and also trying very hard to finish the draft of the final Nyaxia book before this baby is born. Between us, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm doing my best. So there's not a lot of brain space left over lately for reading, unfortunately. The last book I finished was Yesteryear, which a lot of times when I'm drafting, I read very far outside of my genre. Like, I read things that are just totally unrelated to romantasy. And it was riveting. Like, I read it in 24 hours.
Oh, wow. Oh, what genre is that book in?
Would we call it? I want to call it like women's lit, kind of.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's like it's about like a woman who ends up going back in time. Like, she wants to live like her trad wife life, but she ends up getting transported back in time and has to live it, and about like how that goes for her. It's actually quite interesting. Rebecca doesn't read a lot of contemporary or anything in that sort of direction. Definitely more my wheelhouse than Rebecca's ones. But that's okay.
I am very deep in my villain era. That is where I'm at. I'm in spicy romantasy, dark fantasy, dark romance. That is my wheelhouse. That's why I had no idea what that book was.
That's totally fine. I mean, my assistant, who like does books for a living, you know, like her job is working in the book world and everything, and even she was like, I've never heard of that, which is shocking to me because in my circles, like, everyone is talking about this book. But
me
yeah,
too.
everyone's got their wheelhouse.
Well, like, that's the thing that's neat about, like, all the different girls that I do the podcast with. Everybody brings a little bit of something different. We're not all, they're not all the same as me. And a lot of them do read contemporary romance. They read thrillers. They really read, everything. So a lot of times when it's something like that, I'm like, I don't know. So that's why I have Kirsty and I have all the other girls, and they're like, well, yes, we've read this.
Yes.
Now, now, I have a question for you. Now, because you were an indie author and now you are traditional, are you liking being a traditionally published author now versus being just an indie or
So
as an
I
indie?
I actually am still hybrid, meaning that there are aspects of my career that are indie and aspects that are traditional. So I still retain all of my ebooks are still published by me at this
Oh,
point.
okay.
Yeah, and that's been very important to me. I always say, I never say never about anything. I try not to speak in extremes. Um, but I very, very, very strongly believe there will always be some indie aspect to my career. Like it would take I don't even know what it would take to have me give up all of my independent rights and control over my career. So I'm really grateful to be in the position I'm in right now, where I kind of get the best of both worlds, where I get the support of my publisher and the distribution that is impossible, when you're independent, and also get to collaborate with all of these immensely talented people that I get to work with at my publisher, while still also maintaining the control of my career that I can have by having those indie aspects of my career too.
That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. I think it's nice that you get to have that option to do that. And it's still, you still, like you said, you still have your rights. You have control. Because I have seen different authors that were indie and that have gone completely traditional, and they have lost their voice a lot in it. They don't have the choice necessarily, like what is happening with their books or their covers. And you can see that some of them, it's not happy. Like, they said, now this is supposedly something going on, because they said with Sarah J. Maas or Moss, they said they think she's having some issues there with her publisher and stuff, and there's possibility that she could go back to being indie, and not have a publisher. I
Mm.
I mean, I think she could do it because
Yeah.
she has such a following.
Oh yeah, I mean she, like you think of like she has, to my knowledge, always been traditionally published. Like she, from the get go, had a traditional deal. But she is so huge. Um, you think of like Brandon Sanderson, for example, who kind of stepped his foot into indie and hybrid publishing when he did, a few years ago, that Kickstarter campaign that earned like $20 million or something. Good for him.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like Brandon Sanderson, Sarah J. Maas, those are two of the big, big names in the fantasy world that I think could make boatloads of money,
Yeah.
doing this kind of stuff, and probably have the access to also, they can kind of get past a lot of the roadblocks that like your average indie author or even, someone at my level, like can't get past,
Yeah.
distribution wise, like because Target is always going to want to stock Sarah J. Maas's new book, and they will figure out
Yeah.
what they got to do to be able to stock it. So that thought has actually crossed my mind as well. And once you get to a level where your name carries just such astronomical weight, I have to imagine that a lot of authors at that level start to become aware of that, and the options that that opens up for them.
Well, because I was thinking, if she did do that, I mean, that would cut out a lot of the middlemen kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think every, bookstore, big box bookstore versus even like the, your indie bookstores would carry anything she did. Because when I was listening to her interview that she did back in March when she announced, book 6 and all that kind of stuff, you could tell there's some turbulence underneath the surface of the water there. So maybe we will see what happens after book 8, once that one
Yeah.
comes out, what she does.
I think that the relationship between authors and publishers is always, it's a partnership, but it's always like, okay, so I used to work in marketing, business to business marketing and cybersecurity, like in the tech industry. And,
Okay.
yeah, totally applicable to what I do now. And we always used to say, like back then, that there was always like a healthy tension between sales and marketing, right? So like because in a way, like the sales team was kind of like my clients, like I produced content so that they could go take it and go like
Yeah.
sell our software to people, right? And that's actually kind of how I think about authors and publishers sometimes, where like in the best author publisher relationships, everyone is feeling respected, everyone is getting what they want out of each other, but also there always should be kind of some degree of like you're kind of pushing and pulling each other to some
Yeah.
degree because you're operating different arms of the machine, right? And in a good relationship, everyone is like aware of that and doing that in like a very respectful way. um but as you said, sometimes sometimes it breaks down, sometimes like the tension just is not working out the way that it should.
Well, I think like when she talked about there and she was saying like how she was in a very similar situation as you are right now, she was ready to have her baby and then they wanted her to cut all kinds of pages or from one of her Akatar books. I believe it was Akatar. It might have been Crescent City. And then she went and she did all that and then they said, "Oh, never mind. It's fine." After she did all of that. And you could tell that there's
Oh, that would kill
some
me.
problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That would kill me. Yeah,
and
I'm
so,
very
yeah.
grateful that I've never had like my publisher and my editor, the team that I work with at Bramble has been really excellent with you know, I get a lot of control,
Mhm.
over things. Like they've never, of course they have opinions about things as they should. This is a big
Yeah.
part of their business, but there's never been like, like the my trilogy, the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. Like those cover redesigns, I did those myself. Like I didn't do the artwork. I mean, I like did the art direction.
You
I had them
picked.
commissioned. Yeah,
Yeah.
I produced,
Because they're pretty.
yeah,
It's
I worked with
stunning.
my favorite illustrator of all time. It was like a passion project for me. We worked on it for over a year together.
They're
Arthur Wang,
beautiful.
he's amazing. Um and I was
Mm,
originally going to do all that indie. And then, I was having a good relationship with my publisher and was kind of like, I'd love to work with them on this if they're interested in it. And I kind of like brought them all the stuff and was like, here it is, it's all done. And there are some publishers who would have been like, no, or they would have like
Yeah.
pushed back on cover things or whatever. But they have
Yeah.
always been like very accommodating, which has been excellent.
But I
It's
have
just
seen
about
that
finding the
too.
right fit, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
right. And it's
yep.
also kind of a game of roulette sometimes where it's like, I mean, the publishing industry has so much turnover. So even when authors criticize publishers, they're never criticizing the people that they work with. Because for the most part, everyone that they're talking to, the editors, the editorial assistants, the publicity people, like everyone is just trying to do their job to the best of
Yeah.
their ability. And everyone loves books and wants to see books succeed. It's it's like the capitalism of it all, that
Yes.
that people are complaining about. And sometimes you have like a great vibe with a certain editor or a certain publicity person or whatever, and then they leave and take a better job because that's what
Yeah.
they should do. But you get lucky sometimes.
Now, since you write such incredibly dark and spicy romantasy, what originally drew you to that genre? As again, I have to tell you, in The Serpent of Wings of Night and the whole story there, and then in Six Scorched Roses, Vale and Lilith's story. I love them so much. Because now let me ask you, since you are, besides that question there, when you are reading, now do you recommend reading The Serpent and the Wings of Night, then Six Scorched Roses, and then The Ashes of the Star-Cursed King? Or do you have a particular order that you should read them in? I read it in between. And then for me, it gave that, background, and it was just so beautiful, I have to tell you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the Six Scorched Roses, love. I was very surprised when I was at BookCon recently. And I was shocked that Six Scorched Roses, which is, I mean, I think comfortably my lowest selling book, right?
Oh.
Out of all of my books. It was the book that was mentioned the most to me, like by people coming up to me. Yeah, which was like shocking to me. I very much wrote it for myself. Like I was just like, I had a contractual obligation to an anthology, and I wrote it in like 2.5 weeks. Like I wrote it really, really fast because I was like,
Wow.
oh shit, like I have to write this book. Nobody's gonna like it, so I should just write like whatever that I want to write. And so many people have connected with it, and it's very close to my heart. So thank you. Um, I designed it to be a standalone in the sense that you can read it if you haven't read any of my books. You can read it at any point, just whenever. But I do think if I was going to give someone like an ideal reading order, reading it between Serpent and Ashes does give you a little bit more context when these characters turn up, in that second book. And kind of similar with Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, like I get asked about reading order a lot because
All the time.
I created such, I don't know what I was thinking, guys. I mean, I have to follow through now, because it was like always the plan from the beginning, how this whole series was structured. But now, like looking back, also maybe because I'm tired and I'm working on the last book, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, this is like, people get confused about reading order. And I, as a reader, I am someone who is very lackadaisical about reading order. Like, like contemporary romance series or romance series where it's like each book is a standalone about a couple, right?
Yes.
And a lot of times those series will kind of have like a big picture plot of some kind across, or like other couples will show up. So there will kind of be like minor spoilers for other books. I don't care. I will start with book 5. Like, I am like a very, so when people like, sometimes I talk about my own reading orders and readers are like, this is wrong. Like, I disagree. Like, oh, I did this in the wrong order and now I have to go back. And I'm like, just relax. It's okay. It's fine. You can read it whichever way you want. Like, it's fine. So yeah,
I went to
similarly,
Instagram to see if I could find the reading order because I'd only read the first duology, and my goodness, it did not help. I think it made it worse. In fact, seeing everyone's differing opinions of what I needed to read next, it was quite funny.
Everyone they have very strong opinions about it, and I kind of feel like, especially when it comes to like the main 6 books, they're kind of divided up into 3 sections, but they're designed to be roughly, books 1 through 6. So like, if you want your ideal reading order there, just read books 1 through 6. The other 2, you can read them, you can skip them, you can read them whenever you want, you can read them first. I have some suggestions. Like I said, if you wanted like an ideal reading order, you might want to do Roses between 1 and 2, Slaying maybe after 2, I guess. But like, whenever I say that, people are like, no, this is wrong. You can skip them. You don't have to read them at all. You can read them whenever you want.
Oh, now I haven't read Slaying yet because again, I have them all sitting here waiting for me. But nobody, please do not skip this one because this one is, it's just little and it's so wonderful. And again,
thank you.
I love that one so much. I love Lilith. I love Vale. It's just so beautiful. Again, I will say it again. I just love it. Kirsty hasn't read that one yet.
I haven't. I went straight from 1 to 2, and then literally today I finished The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, which was problematic because it finished on a cliffhanger, and now I have to do this, and then I can start the next one. Yeah, so
it's a pretty brutal one too. Sorry,
it is. It is. I was like, no, this isn't happening. Help me. It's okay. It's all going to be fine.
But
But
will
now,
it?
Oh, don't say that.
oh,
Don't say that. In my head, it's going to be fine. In my head, it's going to be
so now how did you get into writing, dark fantasy and romantasy? What sparked you? What got you into writing?
So I used to write a lot as a kid, like as a young teenager. And I am a millennial. I'm 30, 33. I have to like stop and think about it now, which is probably telling you something, right? I am 33 at time of recording, as far as I recall. And, and that means that I came of age in like the golden age of the internet. Like, I always want to take people who are like 25 aside and be like, no, the internet used to be like great. Now it's like 5 websites and they're all evil,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're all like trying to take over the world and instill fascism or whatever. But it used to be
Yes.
like there were lots of websites for any like weird shit that you ever wanted to do. You could find like there was lots of like, you know, people like writing online like chapter by chapter, which is what I did.
Yes.
So I
I
used to
also did
write.
that.
Oh, see, okay, so you understand. Yeah, back in the
Yes.
day.
Yeah.
Um, I used to do. I don't know if you were nerdy enough for this. I used to do like. Do you remember forum role playing? Do you remember
No,
those?
sorry, I do not. No.
Okay, so there was like. Well, do you guys remember forums? Like forums used to
Yes.
Oh,
exist.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay,
yes.
right. So for the young ones listening, forums were like it's like Reddit, but like smaller, like, right? Like message boards. And there used to be like role play, like they would call them RPs, like games. And it was basically like you wrote a character, right? And then like somebody else would like come and write their character and like come into your like thread. So it would be like, oh, if you were doing like a magical academy one or whatever, and I wrote my character like studying in the library, and then you could write your character like coming in and being attacked by goblins or whatever. I don't know, whatever it is. But you were basically like
Right.
writing stories collaboratively with like other people. Um anyway, so I did all that nerdy stuff when I was a kid, and it was always fantasy because I don't like playing by the rules. So I like to make up my own rules. And there was always some degree of romance in it. And actually, Daughter of No Worlds borrows heavily from a book that I was writing chapter by chapter online when I was like 13 years old,
Well, that's
including
pretty
some of the
neat.
really dark stuff. So, yeah.
Wow. That's very cool.
That is very cool. Now, because I'm older than you, both of you, I graduated from high school in 98. So the internet was just starting there, the late 90s. I remember we got our first computer in 96, and, there were chat rooms, and chat rooms aren't like how things are today. And
No.
I actually met my first husband in a chat room
Woo,
back
spicy.
then. Oh, I know. And so that's how I met him. And then, but they were those message boards and stuff. Like they have no idea. Like people like even my own kids, they don't understand. There was a thing called ICQ, I think is what it was. It was a little
Yep.
app and everybody could talk on it. It was just the internet was a very different time then. And of course, then later on, of course, the Vines and all that stuff started. And then now, I don't even know what the internet is. The internet's a very interesting place right now. And right now, also, you can't tell is, what you're seeing real, and some things are not real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is an interesting time to be alive right now.
Yeah. Interesting is one word for it. Yeah.
So now your career has been very amazing to watch. By navigating between all this, uh, between, your indie world now and your traditionally, world, what do you see for the future? Where are you going after this series is done? What is your next project?
Oh, I know. I can't tell you.
Oh, tell him
Um,
yet.
I do have another project in the works.
Oh, that's exciting.
Very
Yeah,
exciting.
it's I think an announcement will come at some point. I don't know. At this point it's like you're like along for the ride and you're like, what whatever. Um, and it's going to be it will be it's different.
Okay.
I never I never want to write the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's why, I have my 2 series and they're quite different from each other.
Yeah.
And then even within the Crowns of Nyaxia series, I know that there are some people who have not liked later books in the series, but as is completely their right, because the series changes and evolves and it looks at different characters and different settings and stuff like that. Because as an artist, it's not interesting to me to write the same story over and over again. I always want to be exploring something new and different.
Mm.
Um, so my next series is different. I'm a little bit tired of like swords and crowns and thrones romantasy. So,
Okay.
um, so yeah, that's all. I'm very excited about it. I'm very, very excited about it. So that's all I can say about that.
Yeah.
But it is a series, not a standalone.
It is not a standalone, but I'll tell you what, it is not. It is also not an 8-book fucking series because I'm never doing that again.
Well, this is exciting. I mean, I
Yeah.
love how you write. I just have to tell you, I enjoy reading you're a very easy read for me. And I get very immersed into the worlds and I love it. So that's exciting. I'm super
Well, thank
excited for
you.
it.
Well, I hope
No,
you like it once it's out.
I'm sure I will. You're one of my auto buy authors, As soon as you have something, it is pre-ordered. Now, I do have The Lion and the Deathless Dark. It is pre-ordered, so I am super excited to add that to my collection that's here. Now, are you excited for it to come out and to be out
I
into the world?
am. I am very excited. I'm excited. I had a lot of fun writing that one. It was probably one of my more every book is fun in its own way and every
Yeah.
book is like miserable in its own way. Um but I would say like this book was particularly fun, to write. I really really love the female main character and her relationship with the lead. It was a lot of fun to write. And I think it's one of my better books, like I've written what, like 10 or 12 or something in that vicinity at this point.
Oh,
So you
wow.
can never pick a favorite child. Like it changes a lot. But I really feel like this is one of my better books and I'm very excited for people to read it. And if I'm going to just like throw a grenade into the whole reading order thing again, I do think there is a significant gap, right, between books this this book and the previous book in the series.
Mhm.
And because we have a whole new main character, like a whole new POV character, I do try to write every first book in the duology to be comprehensible if somebody were to
Mhm.
pick it up, without having read all of the books in the series. Um, so I do get questions sometimes about like, oh, do I have to have read like every single Nyaxia book, to read this book?
Mhm.
And of course, if you do, there is context that will make more sense to you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you don't, it is also designed to be read, you know, whenever you pick it up.
Mm.
Interesting. Well, I will be definitely reading it through the order. That's me. I like to do that. But I have to tell you the other thing is your covers on this series, they are so beautiful. I mean, look at that. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
of course,
know.
and the one that's coming up there in the purples and stuff, they're just so beautiful. Now, is the artist that did these books, is it the same that did your new covers on your other series? Or is
No,
this a
those are
different artist?
different artists. I do try to do different artists. There are certain artists I really like collaborating with, so
Mhm.
I'll work with them a lot. But I do try to, for different series, get different artists just to like, my favorite part of this job actually is getting to collaborate with so many talented people. I have a huge admiration for the work that artists do, and I know it's like particularly important to value those skills right now
Yeah.
because they are
Yeah.
getting like their industry is getting its ass kicked, by AI, which is just stealing their own stuff and regurgitating it back for free. Other people. That's a whole
Yeah.
rant for another day. But I think it's very
Yes.
important to support actual artists
Mhm.
doing this work. So anyway, the Crowns of Nyaxia series, those covers were all done by Katie Ritchie. Um, and they're like so wonderful to work with. Um, and I actually commissioned all of those covers, as indie
Mm.
authors often do, before
They're
I had
just
written
beautiful.
any of the books. So I had all of them.
Did you?
Yeah, and I brought them to my publisher when they, picked up the series in print. It was like, here, once again, here you go. It's all done. Have fun. And
I've done your
we
job
had to
for
make
you.
some tweaks. Yeah, exactly.
Those are,
I make
but
it
they are
easy.
absolutely, they're beautiful. That
They're
I am
stunning.
I am a little bit of a cover snob. I judge a book by the cover, and but I have to tell you, I mean, I love a beautiful book, and yours, I think, are some of the most beautiful covers that I own, and
Oh,
that's my opinion.
that's very flattering. On behalf, I mean, I did none of the work, but it's still very flattering. Um, like I said, it's one of my favorite parts of the process. So I do my
If
best.
Now my niece, she does graphic art, and she is just dipping her toe in doing illustration and that for books and things like that. And right now she is currently doing the illustrations of a children's book and the cover. And I keep telling her, because she's a wonderful artist and that, and I'm like, you need to come join me in my book world. Because I told her, I said, so many people would love what you do. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I try. She's just a little bit older than you two. My niece and I were real close in age. We're only 9 years apart. So, but she's still my baby, even though she's 35 years old. But she's still my little peanut. But yeah, I keep encouraging her to do that. Because I do
She
think
should.
artists, people need to see that. It's sad that AI has done a lot of the things. I think there's probably going to be a place for AI, because we're in, the infancy of it, but not in that respect, when it's replacing people, artists or, writers or any of that kind of stuff. I think it'll be detrimental to our society as a whole. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do. I agree. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that your niece should dip her toes into the book world. I mean, there's such an appetite among book readers for, beautiful human-made art. So she should come over here. We love it.
She has a little page where on Instagram where she does like time lapse with her art and stuff when she is drawing. And I told her I want her to do one for me. I want her to make a dragon for me and paint it, and so everybody can watch her do her stuff. But she hasn't done it yet for me, so I have to keep encouraging her. I'm hoping, like, the more and more that people see it, that maybe it'll give her the confidence to show her stuff more
Yeah.
to authors and things like that. And maybe she will dip her toe into it. But you know how that is. But now with the new book coming out, question for you. Is it going to be an enemies to lovers kind of vibe, or is it going to be a slow burn? What is our
Um,
tropes that we're going into?
Gotcha. It's both of those things, I would say.
Ooh.
Yeah. Actually, I think all of my romances have been slow burns. Because I think it's because it's how my brain, you know, processes romances and like how I like to build them. Like I always want um kind of like the physical aspects of the romance to be like the culmination of a lot of like
Yes.
emotional buildup.
Yeah.
So I think it's always tricky because also like people's definitions of slow burns change. Like there are some people who like don't consider it a slow burn if there is any kind of romantic anything in the first book of the series. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There is in this book, but it's like at the end. I think in
Yeah.
terms of like word like count, but it's also one of my spicier books, despite it being a slow burn, because the characters, they are very aggressive. Like she in particular, Kyrene, the main character, I have never written a character like her before. She is definitely like someone who lets the intrusive thoughts win, like basically every time. And that is so fun as a writer, especially because I've written a lot of characters who are like kind of mired in self-doubt, or like characters who aren't like thinking a lot about, not that she is thinking a lot about things, but she's kind of thinking after she acts. So as a result, she's just like always making shit happen. So there is a pretty there's a pretty antagonistic relationship between her and Septimus. You know, they're pushing each other's buttons a lot.
Nice.
Now, now as an author, now for you, now is it hard for you to write the spicy kind of scenes and stuff? Because I was talking to author Stephanie Storm, and she's hilarious, and she was doing a scene in her book, and it was two ladies, in that relationship, and she was trying to talk to her editor and her publisher. She was talking to them, and she's like, before we get going, she's like, can I have a glass of wine or something? And they're like, calm down, Stephanie. We're professionals and that kind of stuff. But is it hard for you, or does it flow just perfect from you?
I'm pretty used to it at this point. I
Mhm.
would say the first time, like Daughter of No Worlds, that was the first time I had written like an open door
Okay.
love scene, we'll say. And I remember at the time feeling like that scene was like so spicy. And now like I read it again, because about the new editions and everything, you have to go through and copy edit it again
Yeah.
and everything. And I'm like, oh, it's so cute, like it's so sweet. Like it's so. And then I remember writing, so I wrote that trilogy. That trilogy is on page, but it's also like epic fantasy. There's not
Yeah.
that. There's also like logistically, right? It's like we're trying to save the world. There's not that much time to like stop and get it on,
Yeah.
Like this is like a
Yeah.
real issue. Like, you know, uh, like the Fallen and the Deathless Dark in particular, there's also like a dog, and I used to have to like be like, okay, how do I get the dog out of the room? So that they're not like doing in
Yeah.
front of the
Yeah.
dog. Like it's
Yeah.
like you have to like deal with these logistics. But when I wrote The Serpent and the Wings of Night, I was like, okay, this series is maybe going to be kind of a step up, in spice level. And Serpent is also a slow burn. There is one like proper sex scene, but it was like 6,000 words long. Like I remember the draft for that was just like super, super long. And I was like, oh my God, is this too much? Like, I don't know. This like feels this feels excessive. And then I put it out there for arcs, and people were like, wow, I really like this book. Shame that it's not spicy though. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what do you people want? Anyway, I do find them difficult in the same way I find fight scenes difficult, actually,
Mhm.
which is a comparison I make all the time that people like laugh at, but they can very easily be boring, right? Kind of like fight
Mhm.
scenes, because
Yeah.
it's like you have to have like a like like an arc to the action, so it's not just
Yeah.
like describing a bunch of movements.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
right? You have to make it like interesting.
Well, yeah.
So I try to focus on kind of like what the reason for that scene existing is, other than being like, okay, I need a sex scene here. Like, what's the
Mhm.
character reason for this to be here? Because otherwise, you might as well just say, you know, you might as well just kind of close the door on it. As
Yeah.
a reader, like I find
Yeah.
it boring when there are like a bunch of meaningless sex scenes. So that's
Yeah.
the most challenging part for me.
Do you think when you are writing it, is it difficult in the descriptions? Because like sometimes, you know, authors they have certain words like folds or the seam or do you find it harder to write words for the female anatomy or those kind of descriptions or the male, or do you not have issue with either?
There are certain ones that kind of like squick me out a little bit, like for me, this is a big topic of debate amongst romance readers. For me, dick is not a sexy word. Like that's like it's like an insult word, or it's like a funny word, or like
Yeah.
but it's not like a sexy word, so I don't.
Yeah.
um and then I will say over time, my tolerance for like kind of like in the beginning I used to be very euphemistic about like anatomy words. And then over time, you're just like, okay, I'll just throw them all out there. And then also, it also depends on the character, because my books are first person narrated. So I also feel like the way that the character talks also influences kind of like
Yeah.
how, like I have
Yeah.
certain characters who would not use certain words, when talking about their own experience.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then I have some characters who would like throw down like dirty talk. And that's when I have to, I have to push my own limits.
Always the thing, because, this I've seen through many, many different books, and the one that always makes me giggle is always with the men, and it's always within their trousers, and when they unleash it and it springs free. Now, every time that I read that, what I imagine in my mind is, like the door stops at the back that's a spring and it goes like this, and every time that is where my mind goes. But I love it. No, I love all my spicy scenes.
It's a very accurate description. I mean, it's kind of what they do.
It is kind of what they do. That is a true statement.
Yeah.
I only read spicy books. I don't read any of the closed door or the fade to black kind of thing. I like my descriptions. I like but there's certain ways that it's written. When it's written beautifully, even if it has like, those kind of terms and it's like, dirty, like really dirty. I love it. It's just, and the way you write it is, I have to tell you, you do very well.
Oh, thank you. Thank
You
you. It's
too.
an acquired skill. Like I said, I've been learning over the years, so thank you.
Well, and then even more.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, go
I
ahead.
love the one at the end of the first duology where, like, just before the big fight at the end, I think you know which one I'm talking about. That is my favorite one that I've read so far from Carissa. It's so good. But like you said, it's written so beautifully that,
Yes.
and it's so, like Carissa was saying, it's so like it's got so much meaning behind it as well, and it's just makes you warm and fuzzy, even though it's terrifying what's about to happen. Makes you all giddy inside, which I love.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I always try to have every couple, they have their emotional arc that they're working through, like as a couple with each other, right? And then when I work on like love scenes, they should be an extension of that. So like Araya, for example, like her whole arc with her romance with Rain is learning how to be vulnerable, because that was like her big hurdle. That was the thing that was keeping her. And that was actually that was great for physical like love scenes, right? Because that's like physical vulnerability. Like you are physically very, very vulnerable. And so that gave me like something to kind of, hook onto for her arc for like all of those scenes. So I'm glad to hear that it like landed for you, because that was like pretty satisfying to write. And then like in the second duology, Misha dealing with like, her faith and like loss of faith, and dealing with this feeling of being like tainted or like dirty, and this kind of like religious guilt aspect. Those are always the most interesting ones to write for me.
I love it. Now, because I know you have to get going because you have another interview to do. So could you?
I'm very popular today.
She's a busy lady.
Very popular.
I am.
But will you let everybody know where they can find you on Instagram, TikTok, your website, and where is your preferred place for people to order your book?
Oh, wonderful.
Or all your books.
So you can find me at all the places under Carissa Broadbent. I have an amazing assistant named Naomi who runs all of my social media. So when you open it up and you're like, wow, this all looks great, I can take no credit for that. I give full shout out to Naomi, which is good because otherwise like nothing would happen, on there. So you can find me on all the places, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. I have a newsletter as well that you can sign up for on my website, CarissaBroadbentBooks.com. And then in terms of ordering my books, honestly, order them wherever you want. I mean, that makes me happy. I will say my local indie bookstore, Charter Books, here in Rhode Island, they're based in Newport. You can always get any of my books signed and personalized if you order through them, like at any time, not just like now, any of my books, whenever. So, and they ship wherever. So.
Oh, that's a nice thing to know. Because that's nice to
They're
be able to
lovely.
have signed copies and stuff. So, and
And
that's
personalized.
Oh, okay. And that's from that bookstore. Okay.
Yes, Charter Books. I think it is charterbooks.com, but if Googled up like Charter Books Newport, Rhode Island, you'll find them.
Newport. Okay. I'm writing that down because I will put a link to them on our link tree. So when your episode comes out, people can go there and they can click it and they can order your books right directly from them there.
Wonderful. And I'll plug this as well. And
Oh,
if you
yes.
pre-order The Lion in the Deathless Dark, I was very sad that I was not able to tour for this one because I will have a like 2-week-old baby at the time, so no touring for
Yeah.
me this year.
Yeah.
But in lieu of a tour, I do have a pre-order incentive. So if you pre-order the hardcover of that book, we have this beautiful alternate dust jacket that one of my favorite artists, Letters by Lila, did. So it's like typographical and it's got like lions and it's really beautiful. And you get that for free if you pre-order it, including from Charter or anywhere else. So that
I
is
think I did that because I think I did that when you did it. My mind is everywhere. It's all over
me
the
too.
place.
I
But
get it. I get it.
But I believe I did that because you have to show copy that your receipt that you purchased, you pre-ordered the book, and then
Yes,
you send. So I believe I did do that. So
yes, my publisher has. I think it should be on my like. See, this is where I'm like, oh, I let my assistant do too much because I'm like, oh, where's the form? Yes, my publisher is running the pre-order campaign. You
yeah,
just like submit your receipt and they will send you the dust jacket that can your little alternate cover. So it's like your own little launch SE kind of.
that's really a neat thing, that they're doing. I
Yes.
like that. I don't think I've ever had that. Something like that with a pre-order that I have done. But also pre-orders are also very important. So everybody do go out and pre-order The Lion and the Deathless Dark because that helps all authors. Pre-orders are always very, very, very important. Even though I love
Yes,
pre-ordering, but for authors it is very important for
Yeah,
it is.
for everything.
Yes,
definitely.
yes. So please do it. That would be great. Thank you.
But thank you so very much for joining us. I enjoyed this. I hope you come back and visit because I have a whole bunch of new besties that are going to be joining me on the podcast. Kirsty is one of my main co-hosts now, and there's Katie, and then there's Jess, and then I have a bunch of other girls too. And again, we all absolutely we adore you and we do. And good luck with your baby, having your sweet little baby
Yes.
soon. So I hope you
Thank
have
you.
a very quick delivery.
Me too. Cross your fingers for me. Thank you so much. This
Yes.
was so much fun. I would love to come back and chat with you all again sometime.
Oh, thank you so much. And
Thank you so
again,
much.
have a good day. Good night, book babes.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.